The factory 3 blocks from your house is on fire. Black smoke is rolling down your street. You can smell chemicals in the air. Your throat starts burning. You have maybe 15 minutes before the air inside your home becomes unbreathable. You don't own a gas mask. You don't have a respirator. You don't have time to order one online or drive to a store that's probably already sold out. You have 15 minutes and whatever is already in your house. Most people make one of 2 fatal mistakes. They either run outside trying to evacuate and breathe in concentrated smoke that drops them within minutes. Or they seal themselves inside and suffocate as the contaminated air seeps in and the oxygen runs out. Both choices kill you. You need a third option. And that option has been protecting people from toxic air for over 200 years, long before gas masks existed. Here's what most people don't understand about toxic air. It's not invisible poison gas that you can't defend against. It's normal air mixed with particles, smoke particles, dust particles, chemical droplets. These particles are what damage your lungs and make breathing impossible. A gas mask works by forcing air through filters that trap those particles before they reach your lungs. But the physics of particle filtration is simple enough that you can recreate it with materials you already have at home. You won't get military-grade protection, but you can reduce particle exposure by 60 to 70%. And that's the difference between 15 minutes of breathable air and 2 hours. 2 hours is enough time to outlast most chemical smoke events. 2 hours is enough time for wind to shift and clear your area. 2 hours is enough time for emergency services to establish safe zones. You just have to survive those 2 hours without destroying your lungs. So the moment you realize the air is turning toxic, you execute this protocol. You have 15 minutes before conditions become critical. Here's how you use them. Step 1, get to your bathroom immediately. Not your bedroom, not your living room, your bathroom. Bathrooms are the most sealable rooms in most homes. They have fewer windows, smaller gaps under doors, and often have exhaust fans you can control. You're going to turn this bathroom into a sealed, clean room. Grab every towel you can carry on your way there. You'll need at least 5, ideally 10. Step 2, wet 3 towels completely. Run them under the faucet until they're soaked. Wring them out just enough so they're not dripping, but keep them very damp. The reason this works, airborne particles stick to moisture. Dry cloth catches maybe 20% of smoke particles. Wet cloth catches 60 to 70%. That difference is the difference between coughing blood in 30 minutes and breathing uncomfortably for 2 hours.
Step 3, layer those 3 wet towels over your nose and mouth. Not just 1, 3. You're creating a particle maze. Air has to pass through 3 separate layers of damp fibers. Every layer traps more particles. By the 3rd layer, most of the smoke and chemical droplets have stuck to the fabric instead of entering your lungs. Hold the towels in place with a belt, a scarf, or even duct tape if you have it. You need both hands free for the next steps. Step 4, seal your bathroom door. Take the remaining dry towels and stuff them into the gap under the door. Push them in tight. That gap is where most contaminated air enters a room. Block it, and you've just cut air infiltration by 50%. If you have duct tape, run it along the edges of the door where it meets the frame. If you don't have duct tape, use wet towels along the door edges. Wet fabric forms a tighter seal than dry. Step 5, turn off any ventilation. If your bathroom has an exhaust fan, turn it off. If there's a vent in the ceiling, cover it with a damp towel and tape. You do not want outside air being pulled into your sealed room. Step 6, if your bathroom has a window, crack it open 1 inch. I know this sounds contradictory. You just sealed the door and vents. Why open the window? Because you need oxygen. A fully sealed room will run out of breathable air in about 90 minutes, depending on the size. But toxic smoke does not fill an entire area evenly. It concentrates low or high, depending on temperature. Heavy chemical smoke sinks. Hot smoke from fires rises. A window cracked 1 inch at the top lets you control where fresh air enters. If smoke is sinking, open the top of the window. If smoke is rising, crack the bottom. You're using the natural movement of air to pull in the least contaminated oxygen while keeping the worst concentrations out. Cover that crack with a damp cloth. Air will still flow through, but the cloth traps particles before they enter. Step 7, create a secondary filter if you have the materials. If you have activated charcoal, the kind used in aquarium filters or water purifiers, crush it into powder. Place the powder between 2 wet towels and hold this layered filter over your primary mask. Charcoal traps chemical molecules, not just particles. It won't stop everything, but it significantly reduces the amount of irritants reaching your lungs. If you don't have activated charcoal, skip this step. The wet towels alone are enough. Step 8, Stay low if smoke is entering the room. Sit on the floor. Breathe slowly. Do not panic. Panicked breathing pulls more air through the filter faster, which means more particles bypass the fibers. Slow, controlled breaths give the towels time to trap contaminants. Breathe in through the towel mask, breathe out away from it. You don't want to saturate the fabric with your exhaled moisture. Keep it damp, not soaked with breath condensation. Step 9. Monitor your towel mask. Every 20 to 30 minutes, check the innermost layer. If it's turning gray or black from trapped particles, replace it with a fresh, damp towel. You should have brought extras. Do not reuse a contaminated towel. Once the fibers are clogged with particles, air will bypass them instead of filtering through. You're now breathing unfiltered air.
Step 10. Stay in your sealed bathroom until conditions improve. You're waiting for one of three things. The wind shifts and clears the air, emergency services declare the area safe, or enough time passes that the fire or chemical release burns out. You do not leave early because you feel okay. Toxic air exposure is cumulative. The first 30 minutes might feel manageable, but damaged lung tissue builds up. By the time you feel serious symptoms, you've already done permanent harm. Use your phone if you have signal. Check emergency alerts. Monitor wind direction if you can access weather apps. Know what's happening outside before you unseal your room. Let me give you a real scenario. Valdosta, Georgia, 2024. A chemical plant fire released chlorine gas across several neighborhoods. The people who survived best weren't the ones who evacuated into the smoke. They were the ones who sealed themselves in bathrooms with wet towels over their faces. One family stayed sealed for 4 hours. They rotated through 12 towels as each one became saturated with particles. When the all clear finally came, they walked out with irritated throats but functional lungs. Their neighbors who tried to drive away ended up hospitalized with chemical burns in their respiratory systems. The difference wasn't luck. It was understanding that toxic air is a filtration problem, not an equipment problem. Here's what you need to do tonight. Go to your bathroom right now. Count how many towels you have. You need at least 10. If you don't have 10, buy more tomorrow. Keep them in the bathroom closet. Next, check the gap under your bathroom door. Is it 1 inch, 2 inches? Know how many towels it takes to seal that gap completely. Third, locate your bathroom's ventilation. Where's the exhaust fan switch? Where are the vents? Can you reach them to cover them quickly? Fourth, if you don't have activated charcoal, consider buying a small container. Aquarium stores sell it. It's cheap. 1 container is enough to create multiple filters. And finally, practice breathing through 3 layers of damp towel. It feels restrictive, it feels uncomfortable. Get used to that feeling now so it doesn't make you panic when your life depends on it. The air doesn't warn you before it turns toxic. Chemical accidents happen in seconds. Industrial fires spread in minutes. By the time you smell smoke, you're already inhaling particles. You can't control when the air becomes poison, but you can control whether you've prepared the one room in your house that becomes your clean zone. You can control whether you know how to turn towels into filters. You can control whether panic or protocol determines your survival. Toxic air kills fast, but it kills through accumulated exposure, not instant lethality. Every particle you prevent from entering your lungs buys you more time. Every layer of damp cloth between you and the smoke extends your window of survival. Gas masks are better, professional respirators are better, but better doesn't matter if you don't have them when the smoke starts rolling down your street. What matters is knowing that the bathroom you use every day can become a sealed clean room, that the towels in your closet can filter 60 to 70% of airborne particles, that 15 minutes of preparation can buy you 2 hours of breathable air. Stay prepared, stay calm, and remember, when the air turns toxic, the people who survive aren't the ones with the most equipment. They're the ones who understand that filtration is physics, and physics works with or without a gas mask.